Hello YouTube, welcome to the shop of Bumblebee Crafts. My name is Neil. I have this Ridgid, it's a model R4514 table saw, and also have a Skil router table. And like many people with these contractor job site table saws, there's a big gap here. A lot of people are putting their router tables, building router tables themselves and putting them in this gap. But since I already have this Skil SRT 1039 router table, I thought I could modify it to fill this gap. I've already started part of the process of taking the legs off of the Skil router table. And I measured the opening from here to here, and that is 22 inches. Or about 560 millimeters. The Skil router table itself is 26 inches long by 15/13/16 wide. The 26 inches, that's equivalent to 662 millimeters. I measured it twice, so actually it's a little bit bigger than 26 inches. And as I said, I've already taken off the legs on either side of the router table. Now, and I measured how much of a difference, I'll have to take off some of the material on either end of the router table. I figured out I'll have to take off 51 millimeters, about 2 inches off of either side. Now, unfortunately, there are metal inserts where the legs of the router table went on. They'll have to come out. It's not too difficult. If you have the right size Allen wrench, they just unscrew. And once you get those, there's 4 of them. Once you get these 4 out of the way, I'll be able to cut these 51 millimeters off, and it should fit lengthwise. Widthwise, there's about an inch difference. The table is about an inch wider than this gap, but I'm thinking there are bolts underneath this part of the table. I'm going to try loosening them off and moving it outwards to give enough space. So let me cut this, see if I can pull this out some, and then I'll come back and let you know how it went. Okay, I'm back. I did remeasure everything because, as they say, measure twice, cut once. It is 51 millimeters on either side of the router table. I had to trim off. Don't do like I did and forget to take off the aluminum T-track inside here. It really didn't hurt anything. I mean, the Ridgid saw is pretty robust, and this is pretty thin aluminum. I didn't even really know that I had cut through it as I was cutting it, but be that as it may, taking the 51 millimeters off, it fits perfectly. Oh, this section, there are 4 bolts underneath. You loosen those and you could slide it back toward the right for about an extra inch, and that gives me enough room to put the table in. All I have to do is secure it on either end, and either on the wide end and the narrow end, and it should work perfectly. And then I can remount the Skil router underneath, and there's an adjustment set screw, so I could lower it and raise it. The only issue is the power switch underneath will be under, but it's not too much, it's not too far. It won't be too difficult to turn it on and off. Once I get everything secured, I'll come back and show you the finished product. All right, I'm back. I've got the table in place, and I have it secured for now using these straight edge levelers on either side. I've got these Craig C-clamps holding it from the bottom and on the top, and it's pretty much flat on the table. I also got some L-shaped slotted brackets that I'm going to mount underneath. But it's in a pretty good position right now. I can go ahead and mark where I'm going to drill. I'll put a bracket, 2 brackets on either side. On the ends, I'll have to wait and see how sturdy it is once I get the 4 brackets in place. But right now I'm going to go underneath, mark where I need to drill, put in the L brackets, and that should be about it. And I'll come back and show you how everything is set up and put together. Well, folks, that was a little bit more difficult than I planned on it being. I did put, like I mentioned before, some L brackets, slotted L brackets, and instead of screwing the router table itself to the saw, I ended up just using the L brackets as basically just shelf brackets. Let me show you what I did. I'll take you on a little journey underneath. This way. You can see I got 4, 2 on each end, screwed it into the saw, the blade side of the saw, and I've got 2 others. You can see them from this side on each corner. I use the Hillman I probably have to reverse this, but it's Hillman 90-degree angle corner plate, 1/2 inch by 0.5 inch. Got them at Lowe's. You can get a pack of 4 for less than $4. It looks pretty steady. I did have an issue when I first put it in. It was tilted. Let me back up a little bit, maybe you can see. It was rocking on these 2 corners. The other 2 were fine. So what I ended up doing was going from underneath, and I put 2 screws into the L brackets to pull the corners of the router table down. And as you can see now, it is it's even on the side. There's a little bit of a lip over here, but it's not going to affect cutting larger pieces of wood on this Ridgid table saw. And now, rather than having a separate router table taking up space, because this is a fairly small shop, a lot of people are doing it this way. I decided to do it because I was freehanding a trim router, just doing a chamfer around a piece of wood, and I didn't like the way it came out. I guess my hands weren't steady enough, so I decided I would look into putting this router table in my table saw so I have a more stable base to do simple trim routing. Anyway, this is the Skil router table SRT. Let me get my notes. It was the SRT 1039 router table attached to a Ridgid R4514 job site table saw. If you like this, please add a comment, or if you have any questions, thumbs up would be appreciated. This is my first video, so I don't know if it's worth subscribing yet, since I don't know for sure I'll be doing more. But if I come across something that I end up doing, a DIY or a hack that nobody else has done, then maybe I'll put a video together and post it. Anyway, thanks for visiting, and see you later.